My handicap van was boxed in again, this time by a sleek white BMW with HOA placards dangling from the mirror like a self-appointed sheriff's badge. I sat in my van, engine cold, wheelchair lift primed, staring at the car idling 6 inches from my bumper. I dealt with this nonsense before, but today I was running on 3 hours of sleep, a court deadline, and 0 patience. The culprit rounded the corner, strutting like she owned the asphalt blonde pixie cut, oversized sunglasses, clipboard gripped like a scepter. "That's Laura Bennett, our HOA president," a neighbor muttered. Or, as folks whispered behind closed doors, Karen with a vendetta. "Excuse me," I called through my open window, "you're blocking my van." Laura barely glanced my way. "You're not supposed to park here overnight." I blinked. "This is a handicap space. It's part of my deed. HOA rules say no commercial-looking vehicles in VY-sable driveways," she shot back, air quoting special, without pausing her stride. I should have let it go, called a tow truck, reported her, moved on. But after 15 years fighting for disability rights in courtrooms packed with smug landlords and clueless officials, this felt personal. "Laura," I said, lowering my wheelchair lift, "do you know what Title III of the Americans with Disabilities Act covers?" Her sunglasses slipped. "Don't get dramatic, Michael. It's just a parking spot. My name's Michael Landon. I'm a disability rights attorney, and you just violated federal law." That froze her. Her jaw tightened. "I'm the HOA president. I enforce the rules. You've been warned your van's an eyesore." I rolled down the ramp, calm as ever. "Good. Put it in writing." She stormed off, heels clicking like warning shots. I decided to record everything from then on. If she wanted a fight, I was already strategizing. The next morning, a neon yellow violation notice was duct taped to my door. "Unauthorized parking of oversized vehicle. DULA $300 fine." Comic Sans, no less. I laughed. No signature, no HOA vote, no bylaw cited, just a made-up penalty with a bolded threat. "Non-compliance will result in further legal action, including lien placement." They had no clue who they were tangling with. I swung by the HOA office that afternoon, a repurposed pool house decked out like a budget waiting room. Laura was inside, sipping something green from a mason jar, typing like she was auditioning for a thriller. I didn't knock. "You've got 30 seconds, she said, eyes fixed on her screen. "Perfect," I replied, dropping a folder on her desk. "That's the Fair Housing Act, ADA compliance codes. My deed proving this parking space is mine, and a cease and desist letter." "You're breaking federal law, Laura." She skimmed the papers, unfazed. "You think I'm scared of legal jargon?" I leaned in. "No, but you should be scared of discovery." She froze. "What?" "You've been targeting me because my van has a lift and a handicap placard. I've got 3 neighbors with commercial trucks in their driveways, no fines, no complaints." "That's discrimination." She stood. "It's not." "Then let's find out in court." I left her rattled but wasn't done. That night, I installed 2 security cameras, one on my driveway, one on the street. I filed a complaint with the state housing department and emailed the violation notice and my response to every homeowner. By morning, my inbox was flooded. I wasn't the only one hit with Laura's fake fines. An elderly couple got slapped for unauthorized wind chimes. A single mom was fined for improper curtain color. A veteran down the block got dinged for a flagpole. All unsigned, unapproved by the HOA board, and all from Laura alone. That evening, we met at my place, coffee, violation letters, and bylaws spread out like a strategy session. She said my garden gnome was a visual obstruction, growled Tom Harris, 78, Vietnam vet, proud owner of a ceramic elf. She fined me $50 because my dog barked at her cat, said Sarah, the single mom. Everyone was fed up with her bullying. "Here's the plan," I said. "We file a complaint with the state HOA Oversight Board, request an emergency meeting, and vote her out legally." Sarah hesitated. "What if she retaliates?" "She already has," I replied. "But now we've got EVY Denke." 2 days later, Laura showed up at my house with her sidekick, Nate Carver, the HOA treasurer and part-time realtor who wore polos 2 sizes too small. "You're causing a disruption," Laura snapped, "posting private HOA documents without approval. That's grounds for expulsion." I tapped the binder in my lap. "No such clause exists." "I've read the bylaws, have you?" Nate chimed in. "Look, remove the van, and we'll let this slide." I laughed. There's a state complaint filed and a discrimination lawsuit coming. No sliding. That night, someone egged my van. Security footage caught a gray Honda pulling away Nate's car. He was about to learn what discovery and criminal mischief charges felt like. I sent the footage to Detective Ramirez, the precinct's community liaison, with a formal affidavit of YT. Vandalism against a mobility vehicle? That's a Class D felony here. By dawn, I had a case number and confirmation it was escalating. The next morning, neighbors watched as a patrol car rolled down Maple Lane. An officer served Nate with a criminal investigation notice. He tried to argue, but the officer just handed over the paperwork and left. Sarah, sipping coffee on her porch, gave me a nod. Tom flashed a thumbs up. The neighborhood was picking sides. I headed to the county clerk's office and pulled the HOA's articles of incorporation and 3 years of financials. The clerk frowned. They just updated this weeks ago an amendment to their governance. I scanned it. Laura had rewritten voting procedures to bypass board approval for urgent enforcement, signed with a notarization that looked off. I called my friend Priya Shah, a notary expert. She examined the stamp. This isn't just fakey, it's fraudulent. That signature isn't in the state's database. That's a felony. Laura hadn't just bent relished forged legal documents to seize control. I met the neighbors at Tom's place. She rewrote the bylaws without consent, I explained, and forged a notarization to enforce it. That's criminal fraud. Tom grunted. She denied my fence permit after the board approved it. Said she had executive override. She wasn't bluffing, I said. She was banking on no one checking. We voted to act. I filed a complaint with the state attorney general, attaching the forged documents and Priya's affidavit VYT. Laura called an emergency HOA meeting. Her email subject line screaming panic. Urgent clarification of events. I arrived early, setting up a recorder and a discreet GoPro. Laura swept in late, drowning in perfume, voice tight. There have been misunderstandings, she began. Some residents are spreading baseless rumors about illegal actions. I raised my hand. She ignored me. The bylaws were filed properly, any notary issues were clerical. I stood. The county clerk says your notary stamp isn't licensed. That's a classy felony. Want the maximum sentence? Murmurs spread. Sarah stood. What about the fake fines? You threaten liens without votes. Tom added, you reverse my approved fence permit, no quorum. Laura snapped. You're just bitter someone enforced rules. No, I said, we're angry you broke them. We filed for a recall vote with signatures. You've got 48 hours. Applause started low, deliberate, spreading like wildfire. I grabbed my recorder and left. A week later, police served Laura a subpoena, seizing her laptop and HOA files for fraud. Nate resigned that night, citing personal obligations. The recall vote was a landslide 80-fan tram against Laura. She didn't show. Her driveway stayed empty, the BMW gone. The new board asked me to revise the bylaws. I agreed, but only if every change went to a public vote. My van's still in my driveway, where it belongs. Every time I lower the lift, it's with the quiet satisfaction of knowing justice doesn't always need a courtroom. Sometimes it rolls down a quiet lane, with neighbors watching, free from a clipboard dictator.